Nichola here from PixieHill.com with a brand new project for Gina's Designs laser cuts. Today we're making a series of artist trading cards for inclusion in a pocket letter. I begin by creating a beautifully textured background. I'm covering a piece of card with some old paper. I'm using pages from a damaged book, adhering them with gel medium. Next, I apply some doilies from Gina's Designs. I'm only using the intricate cut elements, and I'm trying to distribute those pieces randomly, but keeping the spacing relatively even. Some steampunk fan pieces are next. On top of this, I use the gel medium with a large herringbone stencil. I'm not completely filling the spaces, but rather pushing the gel into the edges to achieve a subtle pattern. Once dry, I can begin painting. A layer of white acrylic paint is applied. Don't be too concerned with getting perfect coverage. For this project, being a little sloppy is just fine. With some blue and green watercolor paint, I splatter and slosh on some color. A little tamping with a rag will soften and blend the colors. Yellow ochre adds age and interest. If you don't have watercolors, don't worry. You can use acrylic paint thinned with water. Once dry, to create a finished look, you may want to apply some decorative scrapbook paper to the back of your piece, as I have done here. We want 9 rectangles that measure 2.5 by 3.5 inches. This is the size of an artist trading card, or ATC. These will fit into the pockets of a plastic card protector, creating our pocket letter. If you find that your background piece has warped, flatten it before cutting by misting it lightly and placing a weight on top for an hour or so. My background pieces are prepared, and I've gathered all sorts of decorative elements. I begin this stage by placing the pieces on the backgrounds and experimenting with how they work together. A thin layer of glue is applied to the ornamental birdcage shapes, and then a healthy dose of ultrafine glitter is applied. Washi tape and vintage bird images are added, and number plates affixed into place. Things slowly start to come together. There is a link in the supply list to a collage sheet that I've created with the images used in this project, but feel free to source your own public domain images. After I cut the images out, I like to ink the edges. I simply use an old stamp pad, and I find it sort of softens the cut edges. To create more depth, I use adhesive foam squares to apply some of the elements. Just keep in mind that these pieces will be going inside plastic pockets and space will be an issue. You can see that I go back and forth a lot. I don't glue anything into place until I feel like it's in the right spot. If I'm unsure about something, I keep playing, or if I'm really frustrated, I move on and come back to that spot later on. Just be patient and keep at it. Eventually, you'll find what works. Again, keep those pockets in mind. You'll need to trim off any bits that extend over the edge of the backgrounds. At this stage, some of the pieces are pretty near complete. I'm inking the entire edge of the cards and adding vintage buttons and old stamps. Some of the pieces have twine tied around them, which will later prove to be a giant pain when I'm placing the cards into the plastic sleeves. When I'm adding and removing pieces here, I'm trying to look not just at the individual cards, but how they work together. When creating a group piece like this, or a collection or a series, sometimes it's a good idea to work on them all at once, as it encourages you to consider how they work as a whole. Once these cards are complete, I'll place them into the plastic sleeves with a lot of fiddling. I'll also add a few transparent stickers to the outside of the plastic, complementing the cards that are held inside. And that is that. If you're sending a pocket letter, remember to tuck a note and some tiny surprises inside the pockets before mailing. And if you're looking for someone to mail your pocket letter to, check out the Pocket Letter Network at pocketletterpals.com.